And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Lost Odyssey. I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and we've pretty much geared up. Pretty good, pretty hardcore. And we are ready to move on. Let's go ahead and check out the item shop as well while we're here. Because we still have some cash left, and we could use some healing items of sorts. Wouldn't hurt anyway. We don't have a lot of money, though, because we burnt a lot of money on other things. But as you can see, we have no magic to buy because we have found all of it. So anybody worried about missing out on, magic spells, you can, but it's not that common of an issue. There we go. So we've kind of gotten all of these. These are status recovery items. I'm not worried about the healing medicine, healing herbs. We got a lot of these for now. Though we could buy some, but I don't think we're hurting for anything right now. And we do have items to sell if we needed to. But I think we're okay for the moment. But yeah, getting status recovery items is pretty important. Pretty important stuff. Don't want to miss out on that. And I think that's it in Main Street. So let's go ahead and head to a different place, which I believe is another street. I forget the name of it, though. Canal Street, okay. So we're going to go this way. And you can easily see a pot here that we will check out. A mana capsule, sweet. And then we have a big old house to loot here, so let's loot it. As we get 5 sticky tapes, which we may, I think, get enough to make that other ring, but we're not going to worry about it right now. Not much of a use for that ring that Trace can make. Mint powder. We'll open this. Kind of miss looting people's houses in the games. Modern games don't have that as much anymore. Healing herb. $10 for Seed of Terrors. And that's everything here. And 3 mysterious perfumes. Yay. Alright. What do you think of the sculpture? Isn't it just mesmerizing how the line meets with the surface? I'm one of those people that, as an artist, I don't really understand sculptures as much. Especially modern stuff, but whatever. This art is a grueling pursuit. Down in the trenches, it's tough to tell whether or not you're improving. If you could bring me something to serve as inspiration that'd help me get the ball rolling. I think I can make something new if I had some crystal fragments from Crimson Forest. Sure wish someone would bring me one. Now, that's kind of a lie. But it'll make sense. It'll make sense, but you need 19 more. So he tells you that. 19 crystal fragments. But we don't know where that forest is yet, and we're not going to bother with it. Let's go ahead and make a save, because saving's your friend. Because all we have is $20 to our name. $20! Oh boy, I almost want to sell something so we can have a little bit more cash. But, man, what are you going to do? Alright. Let's keep moving. Free goods. That's why we hid the treasure in. Yeah, agreed. Whoa. Who are you guys? You want to join our club? Club? Grown-ups aren't allowed usually, but if you insist, we can put you through the initiation trial. Alright. Find our treasures and bring them back here. Mine is a red balloon, and it's hidden near something of the same color. Mine's a model of a gondola. Put it right next to something that looks just like it. Think you can find it? Mine is a doll with a dress. She loves to go shopping down this road. If you can find them, bring them back here. Okay, well, if you know where things are, you'll find them. So, hey, wait up. Are you not my brother? I'm sorry, my sister must have caused some trouble for you. Look, you're gonna get lost if you keep that up. I told you to wait while I get you the balloon, didn't I? Reap deep deep. And we recall a memory locked deep within her heart. And you can see that glinting gleam in the distance, that little glint of light. That's something that we need to grab. A dream has been, however, revealed. Yeah, I know there's so many of them, but expect that when you're in a town. I mean, come on.
Don't forget me now, you hear? Brother dear, the cry comes from behind as he wades through the Paul's town's crowd. At first, Kime does not realize that the person is addressing him, and he walks on in search of lodging for the night. But the cry comes again, all but clinging to him. Brother dear, big brother? This is puzzling. He last visited the town 80 years ago. There can't be anyone here who knows him. Wait. Big brother, don't go! His puzzlement begins to take on an eerie edge, for the voice addressing him as Big Brother can only belong to an old woman. Without letting his guard down, he turns slowly. Just as he thought, it is an old woman. Dressed in the clothing of a young girl, the tiny old woman is looking straight at Kime with a bright smile on her face. I think you may have gotten the wrong person, he says, allowing his discomfort to show. No, I don't, she says with a big shake of the head and an expanding smile. You're Big Brother Kime. What? What's wrong, Kime? Did you forget me? Well, I mean, I can't place her. Even if he were to, he can't place her. Even if he were to succeed in doing so, he knows he has no acquaintances in this town. He wonders, could this be a chance re-encounter with someone he met on the road? But no, he's sure he doesn't recognize her. And the strangest of all, why should this woman, who looks old enough to be his grandmother, address him as Big Brother? Don't pretend you don't know who I am, Kime. You're so mean. She yells at him loudly enough that people in the crowd stop and stare at them. It's not just the fact that she is shouting, of course. People always have to shout to be heard in these crowded streets. That alone would not attract attention. The old woman's voice is different from a normal adult yell. It is like the innocent, unrestrained cry of a little girl who throws her whole body into a scream. People turn shocked expressions on the old woman and quickly avert their eyes. Their dismay is understandable. The old woman has her stark white hair tied up with a colorful ribbon, and her dress has the same floral pattern and floppy sleeves as a little girl's. Many of the passerby look at the old woman with a mix of sympathy and pity on their faces. Gradually, Kai begins to comprehend the situation. This old woman has simply lived too long. This is why the past locked away in her memory has become realer to her than the reality before her eyes. A middle-aged passerby tugs on Kime's elbow. If I were you, I would just walk away. Don't get involved with her. She'll be nothing but trouble. It's true, says the wife by his side, nodding. You're a stranger here, so you don't know, but the old woman is senile. You can ignore her. She'll forget everything in 5 minutes. They might be right, but the fact is that this old woman knows Kime's name. In the little girl part of her mind, she thinks of Kime as her big brother. He tries probing his distant memories. He spent no more than a few days here so long ago. He got to know very few people, and there can't be any of those still left who still remember him. When Kaim goes on standing before the old woman, the noisy middle-aged couple become indignant. You try to be helpful, and what does it get you? Snorts the husband. Let them work it out themselves, as the wife. Let's just go. Which they proceed to do. Winding up her voice for maximum shrillness, the old woman calls out to them as they walk off in a huff. Don't forget me now, you hear? In that instant, Kaim's memory makes the connection. The old woman greets his look of recognition with an expression of joy. Do you remember me now? She cries. I'm Shushu. It's me, Shushu. He does remember her. A little girl he met in this town 80 years ago. Perhaps 5 or 6 years old at the time, she was a precocious little girl whose lack of shyness with strangers came from her being the daughter of an innkeeper. Somewhere along the way, she had probably picked up a phrase she heard someone using, and so whenever a guest would depart after a number of days in the inn, instead of the standard goodbye or thank you, she would see the person off with a smile and a cheery, don't forget me now, you hear? Only now, when he is suddenly able to see the girl beneath the wrinkles, Kaim must avert his gaze from the old woman's face. What's wrong, big brother? He cannot bring himself to look directly at Shushu's vacant stare. 80 years have gone by. What can they talk about when a man who never ages meets a little girl from the distant past who has aged too much? Let me through here, please. Sorry, let me through here, please. Forcing his way through the crowd, a young man rushes up to where Shushu and Kaim are standing. Great-grandmother, how often do I have to ask you to not go out without telling me? After scolding the old woman, he turns to Kaim with an apologetic bow. I'm terribly sorry if she's been a bother to you. She's old and getting senile. I hope you can forgive her. Shushu herself, however, angrily purses her lips and demands to know. What are you talking about? I'm just playing with Big Brother Kaim. What's wrong with that? She peers at the young man and asks, Who are you? The young man turns a sad gaze on Kaim and begins to apologize again. With a pained smile, Kaim stops him. Kaim knows that at times it can be sadder and more heartbreaking for a life to be prolonged than for it to be cut short. Sad and heartbreaking though a life may be, however, no one has the right to trample on it. She just can't seem to get it through her head that she's old. Even if I hold a mirror up to her, she asks, Who's that old lady? The young man, whose name is Kashi, further explains the situation to Kaim. She might forget that she ate breakfast, but her memories from her childhood can be clear as a bell. Kaim nods in silent understanding. Kashi and Kaim sit on the bench in the town plaza, watching Shushu pick flowers. She's apparently making a floral wreath with her long-lost big brother. 4, rather. But really, sir, do you have time for this? Weren't you in a hurry to get somewhere? No, I'm fine, don't worry. Thanks very much. He smiles for the first time and says, I haven't seen her this happy in ages. The young man seems convinced that his great-grandmother has encountered in Kaim a person who resembles someone she knew as a child. Kaim allows him this. He knows that Kasha cannot and needed not imagine the existence of a person who never ages. Her health has really deteriorated lately. Whenever she runs a fever, we wonder if this is going to be the end for her, and we prepare for the worst. But then she springs right back. Sometimes we joke that her mind is so far gone she's forgotten to die. Kaim sees the young man in profile. Kashi has a gentle smile on his face as he speaks of his great-grandmother. No doubt. When he was little, she used to hold him and play with him. Grown up now, Kashi watches over his great-grandmother like a parent watching his own child. He calls out to her, That's nice, great-grandmother. I haven't seen you weave flowers together like that in a long time. Squatting in the grass with a fistful of flowers, Shushu answers, That's not true. I made a wreath for him yesterday. Then she says to Kaim, Isn't that right, big brother? You wore it in your hair for me, didn't you? Kaim cups his hands around his mouth and calls back to her, I certainly did. It smelled so nice.
Shushu's face becomes a mass of joyful wrinkles. Overcome with emotion, Kashi bows his head. Kaim asks Kashi, "Are you the one who takes care of her?" Me and my wife, Cynthia." "How about your parents? Or even your grandparents? Are they still living?" Kashi shrugs and says, "I'm the only other member of my family left alive. His grandparents both died in an epidemic 20 years ago. His father lost his life in the war that enveloped this area 10 years ago. His mother, Shushu's granddaughter, aged more rapidly than her own mother, and the lamp of her life was snuffed out 5 years ago. Granddaughter, rather. So my great-grandmother has had to keep holding funerals over the years for her children and grandchildren. Before we noticed, she had become the oldest person in town. Must be lonely living that way." "I'm sure," answers Kaib. "Might even be a kindness of the gods to let people fade out mentally when they've lived too long. At least that's how I've come to see it lately. You would think she would feel lonely to be left behind that way, but she's not lonely at all. To live long means you have a lot of memories. Maybe it's not such a bad thing to live in the world of your memories during the last days of your life." Shushu stands up, her arms filled with flowers. "Big Brother Kaim, I'm going to make a floral wreath for you right now. And if I have any flowers left over, I'll make one for this other person too." Kaim and Kashi look at each other with bewildered smiles. "Why are you smiling like that?" Shushu asks. "Are you two friends now?" She opens her wrinkle-ringed eyes wide in surprise, gives the two men a joyful smile, and collapses into the grass. Kashi starts to run for a doctor, but Kaim grabs his arms and holds him back, saying, "You better stay with her." Ironically, Kaim, who can never truly know what it feels like to age, has been present, for that very reason, at countless deaths over the years. His experience tells him that Shushu will not recover this time. Shushu is lying on her back where she has fallen, her armload of flowers now spread over her chest. Her face wears a smile. "Wait just a minute, Big Brother Kaim. I'll make your wreath for you right away." Her mind is still lingering among her memories of the past. Will she stay like this to the very end? "Keep fighting, great-grandmother. Don't let go." Kashi clings to her hand, tearfully shouting encouragement, but she may not even realize that this is her own great-grandson. "It's me, great-grandmother. It's me, Kashi." "You haven't forgotten me, have you? I bathed you last night. You knew who I was then, didn't you?" Kashi appeals to her with all his might, but Shushu, a girlish smile on her lips, is departing for that distant world. "I'm going to be a father soon, great-grandmother, remember? I told you last night Cynthia has a baby inside. It's going to make you a great-great-grandmother. Our family is going to grow, another person with your flesh and blood." Still smiling, Shushu grasps one of the flowers on her chest in her trembling fingers. She thrusts it towards Kashi, and in her voice no more than a whisper, she says, "Don't forget me now. You hear?" Kashi doesn't understand. Indeed, how could he know the little phrase she always used to speak long before he was born? Kaim puts his arm around Kashi's shoulder and says, "Answer her." "I know what you mean, great-grandmother. I won't forget you. I will absolutely never forget you. How could I forget my own great-grandmother? Don't forget me now, you hear? I won't forget you, great-grandmother. Believe me, I'll always remember you. Don't forget me now, you hear?" Shushu closes her eyes and lays her hand on the flowers on her chest, as if groping there for something. She seems almost to be trying to open the door where the memories are sealed. The soft breeze moves over her. The flowers adorning her chest dance in the wind along with the memories. Surely among those memories is the Kaim of 80 years ago. Kaim snatches at one of the petals dancing in the wind, enclosing it in the palm of his hand. Shushu will never open her eyes again. She is left on a journey to a world where there is no past or present.
The only one she has left behind are Kaim, who will go on living forever, and Kashe, who is about to welcome a new life into the world. Clinging to her corpse, Kashe raises his tear-stained face to look at Kaim. "Thank you so much," he says to Kaim, the traveler. "Thanks to you, my grandmother was so happy to be picking flowers at the very end." "No, it wasn't thanks to me," Kaim says. He closes his fist on the petal in his hand and says to Kashe, "I'm sure if she had made a wreath, she would have given it to your sweet new baby." Kashe shyly cocks his head and mutters, "I hope you're right." But then, smiling through his tears, he declares, "I'm sure you're right." Or rather, I'm sure you are. About that promise you made to her. Be good and don't forget her. No, of course not. People go on living as long as they remain in someone's memory. With these words, Kai begins to walk slowly away. Behind him, he hears Shushu's voice. "Don't forget me now, big brother Kaim, you hear?" It is the voice of the little girl from 80 years ago, ringing ever clear, sweet and innocent, declaring farewell to the man who traveled life forever.
That's a bit of a sad one. Bit of a sad one.
Makes you tear up and deep inside, don't it?
So we find the doll with the dress. And the large balloon, which is a reference to these little red things, seeds or berries over here, is really all they were getting at. Now let me think here. And there it is. So we found all 3 items. This must be their fortress. And just to show you there's nothing at the end here, let's go ahead and return back to the 3 children. Get out of the way, kid. Oh, my gondola model. Guess it was too easy for you. You found my doll. Wow. Bingo, that's my balloon. Nice work. You found all the treasures. Well, I guess you'll be the first grown-up to join our club then. And here's your proof of membership. I found this in the trash can over there. Pretty cool, huh? Don't be shy. Go on, take it. And we get the Colonlon earrings, which is pretty much like the imp status effect, or like the mini status effect in Final Fantasy games. There's an enemy, the Colonlons that we met earlier in the game. You can be turned into one. So having resistance against that's a pretty good deal. And as you can see, these take a lot of SP. So we're going to put these actually on our characters right away and get them to start learning this stuff as quickly as humanly possible. Trust me, you don't want to get caught with your Colonlons down. Alright, let's move on. Because we are not done exploring this wonderful, wonderful city. Full of free shit, bro. Alright. Let's take a look here. As you can see, there's little goodies all over this place. Healing herb. And insect innards. And we get the blinding powder. And we'll loot all these goodies. 10 gold. And 100 gold. So that'll get us some money back because we spent a lot of it. And then there's these books. Let's take a look. What can we possibly learn? The Brave Little Boy, Part 2. Sneaking out of the town one day, the brave little boy was spotted by his friends, the little bird. best friend, the little bird, where are you going? The monster is ahead, and it's dangerous. That's exactly why I need your help. What I need your help with. Can you go to the other side of the mountain and peck the monster on the head for me? You're small, and you could do it while flying. The bird perched on the little boy's shoulders. All right, you're my friend, so I'll help you. The boy and the bird climbed the mountain. The bones of the monster's victims were scattered across the mountainside, and the monster's fearsome bellow grew louder and louder. Here I go, said the bird as it took off, and the boy collected some sharp, pointy stones and put them in his pocket. As he approached the mountaintop, the boy saw the gigantic monster. He sat still and waited silently until, from the other side of the mountain, he saw the bird shoot down like an arrow, peck the monster's head with his sharp beak. The monster, surprised, turned around and tried to swallow the impertinent little bird. Just then, the boy lunged at the monster's exposed tail and drove his sharp stone deep into the soft flesh of the beast. The monster flailed about in pain, but the boy held on to his tail, refusing to let go. One by one, he plunged all of the sharp stones from his pocket into the monster's tail. Eventually, it proved too much for the mighty beast, and with a mighty thump, he fell to the ground. The brave little boy found the kidnapped princess and returned home to his mother. The brave little boy married the princess, and his bird friend was awarded all the bread crusts he could eat, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. Oh my god, this might... Cute. The Brave Little Boy Part 1. So we read these out of order. Once there was a little boy who was very brave. He was also very well behaved, so all of his family loved him very much. In a nearby mountain, there was an evil monster who liked to cause trouble for the people in town, ruining their crops and kidnapping their children. He was strong. His fangs were sharp, and his body was covered with tough scales. So none of the soldiers in the land were strong enough to defeat him. Apparently, though, he could be defeated by sharp rocks. One day, the brave little boy saw how distressed the townspeople were. Why is everyone crying? He asked his mother. The evil monster kidnapped the princess, she answered. Why was the princess kidnapped? The boy asked. The monster likes little children and beautiful princesses the most because their meat is soft and succulent, answered the mother. Why isn't anyone helping the princess? The boy asked. The mother answered. The soldiers tried to rescue her, but they were all killed by the monster. The monster was one of the strongest in the land. Even when every soldier in town banded together to fight him, he just opened his enormous mouth and swallowed them up all at once. But mother, the boy exclaimed, doesn't he have any weakness? The mother has no scales. The monster has no scales on the tip of its tail, the mother said. Ah, there you go. So when you touch it, they say it pains him terribly. But the monster is crafty and he never shows his tail to anyone. He always keeps his enemy in front of him. Upon hearing that from his mother, the brave little boy had a brilliant idea. To be continued. So, obviously, if you read the two books, you learn about the brave little boy. Perhaps there's relevance to it. Perhaps it's just a story. Who knows?
No, maybe I do.
And we get $10. There's another dang piece of low-hanging fruit. Which gives us another awesome seed. And poisonous bones, sweet. And another building for us to loot. I mean, graciously walk through. That's what I mean. Graciously, politely, and kindly loot. Why am I lying to myself? We're looting. We're looting hardcore. So we got some more books here. Great snacks for kids. Sweet, fluffy, steamed cakes are a hit amongst children everywhere. And in add in some fruit for a novel delight. Ingredients: eggs, milk, sugar, flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, pinch of salt, fruits, as many as you like. First, sift the flour and baking powder. Mix the eggs, milk, sugar, and salt into a bowl and beat well. Then blend in the sifted flour and baking powder. Cut the fruit into small pieces and work into the mix, leaving a small amount to decorate the finished cake later. Put the mix into molds and place them in the steamer. Put in a toothpick to check if it comes out clean. If it does, the steamed cake is done. Press it up with various colorful fruits to dazzle your children. Best served hot with tea. Hey, there's a Binging with Babish episode right there. To a game that most of his fans would never have heard of. The Eastern Tribe Campaign, under the rule of its 1,000-year-old queen Numara, enjoyed an unprecedented period of peace. The hypercurrents serve as a barrier against outside invasions, and Her Majesty's policy of peaceful coexistence served to strengthen the nation. Numara first faced danger 500 years ago when an eastern tribe wielding powerful spirit magic sent a massive force into Numara. The army entered from the southwest, clashing with our forces in a fierce battle in the lush forests that covered the region. This battle dealt a severe blow to Numara, although it is hard to imagine now. At the time, only a small handful of people, including Her Majesty, had magical abilities. The magic abilities. The magical power source itself was still weak, and much of magic's inner workings were still a mystery. The Eastern tribe used its spirit magic to engage in warfare in ways the Numarans had never imagined. As with black and white magic, spirit magic takes advantage of a mysterious unknown power, but its basic principle and methods are far from similar. In the end, the battle concluded with Numara's victory after Her Majesty reluctantly made use of her arsenal of black magic. The forest was soaked with the blood of Numarans and Eastern tribesmen, with countless dead on both sides buried where they lay. The battlefield, known today as the Crimson Forest, is now home to a legion of wandering spirits. Her Majesty, concerned with the danger that the forest poses, has prohibited entry into the woods ever since. So now we know why it is called the Crimson Forest. Again, you don't have to read that stuff, really, if you don't want to. But it's world-building stuff, guys. At least the reading is good. Good for the world-building. You learn a little bit about what's in that book, but you don't learn the dark details. Or the finer details, unless you read the books and stuff in the game. And that's what's kind of nice about when games add this kind of smaller detail. Flare bomb. I don't believe there's anything behind the door. Yeah. But yeah, so it's nice when games add that little bit of, world building. It adds a lot. Because I have a feeling we're going to be going to the Crimson Forest. Oh yeah, we are going there at some point. So, but, wait, did I grab what was in the pot? Yes, I must have. I got the drawer too. I don't know why I'm zoning out. But yeah, anyway, only hints of that information is actually there. But little bits of world building, and games kind of suck at doing this nowadays. Again, I'm being a bit cynical when I say that, but it's kind of true. Oh, alright. Now we need to go back to that little girl we saw earlier who lost the dog, since we've pretty much collected everything there is to collect. Amongst other things. Get out of the way. Because there's not much more of the free city we're allowed to explore currently. You notice I worded that very carefully. So, yay for that. Now, the other thing, too, is we're going to need to make a pretty big save because there's a weird kind of fight coming. And I don't know how to describe it. But it's a weird battle. I find it to be very difficult to get through, strangely enough. But you'll see what I mean when we get there. It's surprisingly one of the harder battles of the game, and it shouldn't be. That's what's really odd about it all. It really shouldn't be. Oops, wrong way. Hello, bootylicious. All right, let's move. I don't know what it is about that model, but it looked like it had like a slightly bigger booty than some of the other women walking around the town. Yes, I take note of that. What's it to you? What's it to you? Why do you care what my mind is thinking? My mind is telling me no. My body is telling me yes. All right, let's move. Doopy doop 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 doopy doop doop doop. Oh, Leoten Houghton, hey, hey, Leoten ho, ho, Leoten Houghton, hey, hey, Leoten. Thank you for finding Moo for me. Here, you can have this. Thanks again. Here, Moo, you say thanks too. Woof, 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 woof. And we get 3 kilo oils. Yay. The sweat from kilolons, right? So we'll make a save since we've read 2 stories. And we've pretty much looted the majority of the town. No reason to waste any more time here doing any more of that. Which took us easily 30 to 40 minutes. It's a lot of exploration. And so now we have to go all the way back. All the way back to Canal Street. in order to move things forward. And we'll make a save actually on the way there, so we don't have to walk again, because there's a chance I'll lose this fight. Again, the only reason I bring this up is because it's kind of a rough fight, and it's very easy for you to get lured into kind of a weird combat option, which I will explain when we get there. We're not quite there yet. But it's easy to get overpowered. And there's just a cheap way of winning the fight if you really want to. Not necessarily cheap, but... And if we really want to argue plausibility here... If we look... Yeah, we should be good. And I could count this episode. We could stop this episode here, though. No, we'll keep going. Gotta leave you on a cliffhanger. Gotta leave you on a cliffhanger. Next time on Lost Odyssey Z. Kime tells us 10 more stories about things that he did in the 1,000 years of memories. Alright. Running. Theoretically, we could have taken the dog back sooner, I guess, but whatever. I'm just one of those people that likes to clean out an area. That way I don't have to remember where we left off at when we were cleaning that area out. And out we go. I guess I could save there too, but we just saved recently. I'm not going to do that again. Not really. So now we are in the City of Ruins. Interesting. Indeed. One thing to make sure is you keep some of the visual of the plant life in mind. It'll make sense later. Don't think too much on it now, but it will be important to remember where some things are for later. Mr. Sadman, Seal, give me a drink. Boom, 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 boom. Mr. Popo, yes. Please don't frisk me. Do 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 do. As we get a loading screen of justice. Do 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 do.
Wow, that's an unusual color for a flower.
Whoa, no kidding. Girls like flowers. Hey, mind letting me have one? Ow!
Don't pick 'em!
Hey, you little brat. Next time, say that before you hit someone. You got that, kid?
Shut up, you old geezer.
Geezer? Old?
Sounds like one of the kids from Rugrats.
Did you plant these flowers? Nuh-uh. They're just flowers that grow around here. Mom says they're really rare. What are they called again? Tendriflora. Yeah, what do you say?
Palomporum?
Mom loves these flowers. They never wilt. She says they make people happy, too. Mom feels sorry for them since they're so pretty. And people just pick them whenever they want.
You know, I bet there are lots of people out there who would pick a flower if they knew it could make them happy.
It's because they're growing here that makes you happy.
You're right. You know, if you leave them here, then they can make everyone happy.
You're the only one who's ever said that. You must be a good person.
Well, thank you.
What's your name? I'm Cook, and this is my little brother, Mac.
Cook
Mac and cheese?
and Mac. Gotcha. I'm Seth.
They missed that opportunity.
Kime?
Hey, snap out of it, buddy. Back what?
Back then? Back when?
Wild stallions. Okay, those are some ridiculous horseshoes. Not gonna lie.
Check it out. It's those prisoners the Queen just released. Yes, this looks suspicious. What are you characters up to?
Hey, stay back! Watch out for the flowers, please.
Flowers?
Hey, if you want to pick a fight, do it someplace else.
Hey, those are tender flora. You know, the ones that'll make you happy.
Oh, I've heard good things about them.
You're thinking about your girl, aren't you?
Yeah, if I bring her these flowers, getting her in the sack would be a snap.
I am on the same wavelength with that guy. Hey, let me get some of that action.
Don't even go there, Jansen.
All right.
Hey, you can't have them.
What's with you, kid? Out of my way!
Cook, are you okay?
Yeah.
Real mature there, picking on a kid. Uh-oh. Hey, fine.
Listen up, losers. The Numaran military has the right to seize anything that grows on Numaran soil, including those flowers.
It's just a bunch of flowers. It's silly to pick a fight over something so small. What's with you?
Punch him right in the dick, kid. Do it! The
Out of
fanny
the
pack
way,
of
kid.
awesomeness.
No big deal. I'm just gonna take 2 or 3.
No,
What's with you, kid? I can't hear you.
I said no.
Whoa.
I still can't hear you. Oh, how cute. Hey, check out the tough guy.
I'm not moving.
Hey! Crap! What the hell's got him so worked up?
Hey, we could use this kid as the official flower guard. We've got quite a crew of strangers and brats here, eh?
Why don't all of you get lost? You're mucking up Numara.
Get your hands up here!
Oh, nice.
You idiots are the ones who should get lost. Your breath is so bad. It wilts them flowers!
Cook?
Oh, not bad. I like that. Good choice of words. Very nice. Good. Loved it.
Hey, you little brat! That's not how you address a Numaran soldier. Just because you're a kid doesn't mean you can get away with stuff like that.
All this over some fucking flowers. Over flowers. Yeah. Oh, just over flowers. Alright, so this battle is weird.
I wonder how long your chivalry will last.
Because the horsemen are pretty nasty. So what probably is in our best interest is to kill off these soldiers as quickly as possible. Now you say, why are you using flare bombs? Well, you can use any bomb, to be fair. The idea is that these bombs will expedite the death of the 3 front row enemies. And it guarantees our characters go first.
Okay.
That's a big thing. I should have probably ganged up on one, and I did not do that. But that's okay. And you can see it has already knocked down the back row defense by half. But the sooner we can get to those enemies in the back row, the better, because they are the biggest. They are by far the biggest threat here, doing 350 plus damage to characters. Yeah, they suck ass. And I could have just lost this battle because I did not gang up on any singular one. You know, let's actually do... yeah, see, this battle's totally broken as fuck if you're not careful. We may have already screwed up anyway. But if we can get rid of the 3 soldiers, we stand somewhat of a chance here.
Okay.
One down. Another down. Yeah, waste your attacks on Jensen. I'm okay with this. Alright. Time. Wait, did I use the actual healing herb? Time. And screw, we'll use an herb on Jensen. Now I'm confused on who I'm putting these things on. Healing herb, Jensen. Healing herb, Kine. There. So this ends the front row soldiers. And we may as well just keep using these items because they're just more effective than using attacks. If you were to use attacks, this battle gets really, really rough. To the point of you almost wanting to not want to do it. Because look at, Jensen just got knocked out. Which we have an Angel's Plume. And again, we will go with an Aqua Bomb since we're loaded on those.
Okay.
That was close.
Good, they didn't go after Jensen. Alright, so let's do Aqua Bomb. Actually, let's do an attack instead. No. Healing Herb Jensen. And let's do that. Any little bit will help. Except when he's being attacked. Oh, jeez, I forgot how to fight. Yeah, that's about as much as... Oh, come on. He's making this hard for me. Yeah, there's no point in burning items at this point. Other than the items do let us go first. Maybe I'll go back to the item strategy. Oh, never mind. Only took 3 hits, so... Now, let's go to the items. Let's just finish this fight. We need to survive it. And that should kill him. Or be darn close.
Okay.
And there it is.
Well, have you fallen for me yet?
Yeah, it's a very hard battle if you don't think to actually use that kind of a strategy on it.
I knew they weren't ordinary travelers. We'll find out who you really are one of these days. Don't you forget it!
Yeah, we'll remember whatever we want, stupid.
Wow, you guys are all so strong. Well, we've been doing this for a while.
These guys haven't lived as long as they have for nothing, you know.
We want to thank you somehow. Right, Mac? How about we bring him home?
Home?
Yeah, we don't have much, but we'd love it if you came to our house.
That sounds really fun. What's the plan, Kime?
Let's keep moving.
Oh, come on. It'll be fine to rest for just a little bit, won't it?
Yeah, Kime, what's a day or a week, month? Come on.
Please?
Well, that settles it.
Why are you in such a rush? You got nothing but time. Kime,
Get to our house, take this path straight down until you see the ocean, then turn left there. Our house is the one with the blue door. You can't miss it. All right, we are now free to explore again. And yeah. Should be good on, 5. Got our work cut out for us. And I'm just going to finish exploring this little area here before we move on officially. A lot of little goodies to find. Yay. Don't worry. There's stuff back there for later. All right. So, this is a really good place for us to stop for right now. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, RPG Guy. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. When we come back, we will be heading to Mac and Cook's house. Because apparently there's some kind of surprise for us, or they just want to hang out a bit. You know, maybe they got some good weed. I don't know. But we've met 2 interesting young people. And we will see where that leads us. So again, thanks for stopping by. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JackTarStudios for more live gaming action, because you don't want to miss out on all the fun that we have there. As well as check out our Chairman of the Board tabletop show and our Hobo Headcrab blind plays through the classics show, where Hobo Headcrab and you can actually see us live too, play through all kinds of different games. So, and literally see his genuine reaction to games that he missed out on growing up. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.